Okay, so this video is kind of just to talk about my process or whatever, which honestly I don't have one. It's literally me trying random shit out every time. But this time I just wanted to try doing everything in one Fusion comp because I don't know, just like I just wanted to see. So just some things real quick that I have to show is that I do use two monitors, so I do have. Here, let me turn on the second monitor. Um, I do have the keyframes. I don't really use keyframes. Like, these are kind of pointless. Honestly, actually, these are actually literally useless for me personally. I know they can be used to like retime certain shit, but it's just like I don't know. I just use this thing, and then you hold control and click to toggle inputs. So that's usually what I do. Um, yeah, that's like I just have stuff here. Let me change back. So okay, now we're here. And the thing that, or the reason why I would use the edit page was because in Fusion, there was no real way to do hard cuts in between scenes. Because how I used to do it was, let's just add shit in. Scene 2, and then scene 1. And let's just do this and add a merge. So this is how I would usually do this is how I would usually do hard cuts. Like before, I would have the first scene, which could be like a bunch of different shit, and then it would go into a merge mode with the second scene, and it would just like keyframe one frame to switch. The thing is though, is that when stuff gets really complicated, this lags really badly because um, the scene 1, even though it's switched to scene 2 visually, this merge node technically just adds it on top, and it still renders everything under it, like anything connected. So this, like, let's say I had a really complex 3D scene, this would still be being rendered, So let's like, and like even though we swapped to scene 2, it's rendering scene 2 and scene 1, and that's garbage. So I'm using a switch fuse, which literally is just a node that you can use to toggle in between a bunch of inputs. Maybe I made a video on it. I honestly don't know. I maybe forgot. Which I just kind of have it used to keyframe, like to switch in between 4 scenes. I guess I just gotta start showing stuff. So I guess I'll show the 3D scene. I don't know. 3D is kind of cool. You can do a bunch of different shit with it. Also, these like 3D shapes, like that, pretty easy to do. I guess I'll just show that as well. So basically, let me just boom. Basically, if you turn on wireframe, this doesn't usually do anything, but if you go into OpenGL renderer, it renders a wireframe in like this super thin like thing, and it's not really super useful because like I don't know, it doesn't really look that good. But there are like fuck, why am I stuttering? Hello? There's a reactor node called thickener, which literally is just, it duplicates the input just over itself over and over again, so you can make it look like this from to that, and that kind of makes it look a bit better. And then road dilate, and then you can kind of just like make it look all right. And I mean, this on its own doesn't really look that good because like obviously you have to rotate it and do all the cool shit, but you can make I have to redo the wireframe for everything, but basically you can do a fair amount of things because it's like, I don't know, it just looks cool, I guess. You can make a lot of shapes out of it, like the pyramid, not the pyramid. Fucking, you can use the cone shape to make this Y. I don't know. You could if you wanted to. Icosahedron, and I used this in one of the scenes. Just kind of had it rotating in the background. It looks kind of cool. But that's just like a pretty easy way to make like just cool shapes to put in the background. Cause like I don't know, why not? You know, you got the sphere, got the cone. If like what I see myself doing with these is like if I wanted to do some sort of I forgot what aesthetic it was. I guess some sort of like neon, kind of just like dark glowy aesthetic. I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. But if I just wanted to have some cool like wireframe shapes, you know, this is how I do it. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. So 3D scene, boom. We have text. That's just whatever. It's literally text. The camera, which I have keyframed to just move backwards. You can see here, I'm gonna have to change it back. Second monitor, this is what the keyframes look like. I kind of just have it go backwards. That's really it. And I'm just gonna change back to the other scene, and it literally just does this. And yeah, also I use a lot of time expressions because I'm lazy and I don't like keyframing stuff that much. So the planes, these shapes, I guess, we do have a couple different things. I honestly forgot what made, like, why I have two of them here. Let's see. See, why isn't that one selecting? There's literally no difference. What the fuck? Oh shit, there it is. Okay. I don't know, I just made instances of the original shape, which is back here. I made an instance of it that's now here. That's basically it. But anyways, I have them in the transform settings, if I can find it here. Yeah, I have the Y rotation on time, like divided by 2, just so it kind of does like a little spin. I also have particles, which honestly aren't that hard to make. Like, I don't think it's that hard to make. I just have like this, which kind of goes up. The particle emitter, big box. Just show the settings, I guess. Yeah, so size over time kind of does the thing. Bitmap, because it's taking in the ellipse input. Region, that's not really relevant. It's just the thing. And I kind of left a lot of shit like similar. I had the lifespan kind of low, so that the particles would kind of just like pop in and then fade out really fast. Yeah, there's not really anything else to it. I guess there's turbulence, but because everything fades out really fast, it kind of just gives all the particles a small bit of velocity. I mean, I guess you can kind of see it here. Like, they're like, actually, no, you can't see it, too bad. They only show up a bit, but when the camera's panning out, it does give a bit of perspective when the camera's panning out, so it really, you can like tell like a bit more. Yeah, that's basically it. Now I think this is my bad on my end, but these aren't supposed to be connected, but I just left it in because fuck it. I have a separate scene with a copied camera and render. I don't know why they're not instances, but I don't really care. Where it's basically the same thing, the same exact thing, but it's just these. But I ran it through the thickener and the erode dilate just so it would be a bit better, then plop it in there. Also, another random thing is that if you wanted to reincorporate, if you wanted to render 3D assets separately into their, like, through their own 3D renders, just make sure to keep the Z channel like relevant, like keep it turned on. And then in merge nodes, in the channels, you can enable depth merge, which basically means even if you're adding elements quote unquote on top into the foreground, it'll take into account the Z value of your input, of the inputs, and then it'll arrange them so basically like 3D shit can be realistic, and you can render stuff separately. So let's say you wanted to have like a cool 3D thing, and then you wanted it to like glow or something, or you wanted to add some effect and then put it back in. Technically it's doable. I haven't tried it. Whatever. I don't know, it's just how it is. So we have the camera pan out, and it kind of does a thing, you know, it just goes back, and then on frame, like here, I'm looking at the second monitor, it just goes to the second scene, and all these are loader nodes just so it could be easier to render things. But yeah, let's talk about this scene. This one was pretty improvised. I'm not really, I don't really know how to do this kind of stuff. It's more or less just like wanting to see like what I could make. So let's just get out a render node just so I could check it out. So we do got some rectangles, and these rectangles rotate, and then we have this rectangle. So there's two rectangles. I like using rectangles and just doing the corner thing. But yeah, then we have a boolean, and then it does a little spin. I don't know why I have it set up like this, but I just felt like it, and then I scaled it down. And because there's really no snapping to grid on DaVinci Resolve, like you can't arrange stuff to like guides or whatever in After Effects or Photoshop, I kind of just had to come up with my own solution. Another random thing which might be relevant is that in the transform node, only this one, if you go to reference size and do auto res, it changes this stuff to like the pixel values. So I don't know, if you find like having the values be one weird, like having it be too like, you know, weird like this, then you could just have it be absolute pixel values if that's what you're more comfortable with. But yeah, okay, moving on. So yeah, basically back on topic, there's no snap to grid or like any sort of way to measure certain things. So both these rectangles are 1 because I'm treating like a full canvas size as like a grid slot, I guess. And then we're scaling it down by whatever amount, and that just makes things consistent to where like I can just move. I'm trying to see. Yeah, I could offset certain elements by just like, you know, half of a grid thingy, and it just like makes things a lot easier to think about rather than trying to like zoom in and like inch it over. Yeah, but anyways, we have this thing spinning, so it kind of just like, let me turn off the audio. Excuse me. It just does like this, and then this transform node kind of just does like wait, it goes back and then just does this. I don't really know why, I just felt like it. I was listening to the music and I'm like, damn, okay. Anyways, now we have a rotate. These are all like S transforms, but I just renamed them to make them easier. I have a rotate, which kind of just like, I don't know why it does that, but oh yeah, okay. So I have a couple keyframes around here. The rotate node kind of does this. It do just be like that. Boom. And I think just to make things easier, I'm going to turn off dual screen just so that, I don't know, no one's complaining, I guess. But I can't see as much of the nodes, so. Anyways, rotate node, kind of just doing this type of stuff. Then we have it merged with another rectangle, which is just a circle. If I can, boom. Oh shit, never mind, there's just a rectangle to where I kind of wanted to sync up. The camera was like panning outward, so everything was getting smaller, and I kind of wanted to transfer that motion over to the next scene. So I kind of just wanted to have something with the same like motion. Another thing that I forgot to mention in the beginning is that I just have a quote-unquote camera, which is just an S transform node at the end of the composition, because this is basically going to be the final thing that like moves all the shapes around and stuff. Like that scales and zooms and all that shit. So that's kind of how I like to think about using the shape nodes, where I would have an S direct, like let's say I just have a shape and I would render. Basically, I would have an S transform right at the end. Is that the right one? Yeah, I would have an S transform, and then I would just rename it to camera. And this would be like, you know, the one all, I don't know the analogy, like the one all end all fucking thing. And then everything else I add before it would be like in, you know, would be like in the scene. So yeah, let me just delete that. But yeah, there's a camera at the end, which basically just is keyframe, like boom. It's kind of just keyframed to pan out like this and then zoom in again when it does the thing, which that thing is, see, now I'm confused. Why do I have this in a separate comp? Like, I forget why I do certain things. It's, I just improvise. Is it because I didn't want to merge this? I think I wanted to do something before, and then I just stopped. Because it's using the same camera shit. And there's a rotate, and I could just merge that on later. Let me just see this real quick. So let's say we have a circle. And what if I just... boom. Boom. Never mind. Okay, it's the same shit. Never mind. Anyways, we have a... we got a circle, you know? And then it kind of just, it syncs with the music, the keyframes, and it kind of just like does that, you know? And how I did that, for whatever reason, was by using a pivot, was using the rotation and just putting the pivot really far away. Doing that is basically how I do, I guess, putting shapes on like a quote-unquote curved path on like in the fusion shapes, I guess, because I don't really know, I don't really think there's any way you can do it. I mean, I guess you could just like put it in a regular transform node, but like then it rasterizes it and it's just bad. So basically it's a lot more convenient when to get curved shapes by just keeping it in S transforms, because you know, you could just have it like rotate and then add another S transform node, which then rotates it again, and then you can get curves. Yeah, but that's kind of what I did here. So this second rotate is when the impact happens. Well, I have the camera panning in, so there's not really anything I can do about that. But when the impact happens, if I can find it, I guess it would be this one. Boom. So when the impact happens, I have another pivot thing here, which then rotates it like this. And again, you can't do curved paths in the S transform nodes. I don't really know why. I'm pretty sure it's because it doesn't use points. Like, it doesn't use points, it uses the slider shit. So this is really the only other way to accomplish it. Also another random thing. I might still have it. VFX. No. Fusion. I could have sworn I had it, bro. What the fuck? There we go. I found this random document to making visual effects in DaVinci Resolve 17. I don't know why they're so hard to find here, because you have to go to training and then it might not. There we go, training books. Here we go. So this has a lot of shit. Coloring, there's a lot of coloring. You got fucking project files you can download to like follow along and shit. Why would you do buy now on Amazon when you could literally download it? $50. That shit about to kill me. The visual effects buy now on Amazon. Oh, $50 download. You can download a PDF, and it's literally just gonna teach you, I guess, specifically fusion related things. Maybe it helps because there's a motion graphics setting, or it's not setting, a section. I don't really know. I think it's useful. I just don't bother reading through shit like this. But who knows? It might be relevant. It has certain things. We got compositing. We got broadcast, 3D graphics. Kind of just teaches you 3D random stuff. But okay, back on topic. Yeah, this shit rotates. It goes like boom, 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 boom. That did not sync at all with what the thing. So it goes like boom, boom, and then boom, and then it kind of just flings out like that. And then I kind of wanted I wanted it to zoom in, and I also wanted to add particles to like, not particles, just like some shapes to emphasize impact or whatever. Anyways, yeah, that's literally it. And then I just run it through a saver loader thingy. And then it transitions into the next scene. Cool. And in the next scene, sorry, I'm getting bored. Next scene, boom. This is a bit complicated because I wanted to do a stinger transition instead of cutting to another scene. So this is why this comp looks super big. And I think I talked about it earlier, how I used to use like merges to quote unquote cut things off so they wouldn't render. Now I just use switch fuses with blank backgrounds because that seems to be the best thing, next best thing, or I guess a better thing. So now this is a bit more of a janky kind of setup, but we have circle or rectangle, quote unquote. I run it through a cloner. Oh, that's wacky. I don't know if you heard that. That's kind of a bruh. Anyways, so we have it running through a cloner node, which I'm pretty sure it might be in Reactor. I have no idea. It's not. Oh well. There's a linear cloner, but that's beta. So if you want to find the cloner tool, go to, I think you would search up like, yeah, wait, we suck less cloner, and then it would bring you to the forum page. This one, the cloner fuse. You kind of have to make an account and log in, but basically you kind of just go to like the, okay, if that showed my password, that'd be bad-ish. Anyways, you scroll down to like the end of the thread, and then you just download like the latest thing, which is this one. And this guy developed it, I think. So that's cool. And basically, it's just like a duplicate tool, but it's just a lot better. So why not? Run it into the cloner, and the cloner node, I'm not gonna tell you how it works because I don't know. It has the input, you know, and then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all these other inputs. And basically, if I could just run it through it again, you can see we have all of these, which are basically, you can duplicate all of these shapes, but then you could change the color, time, how the fuck you change, you could change the time, I guess. Color, time, rotation, scale, color, image to clone to, whatever. I use the position effector, and here I have a gradient, which, why does it merge over? Is this relevant? What does this do? This doesn't really help. Can I just delete that? Yeah, it's kind of the same shit, but I'm not gonna mess with it. Anyways, we have a background which kind of has this weird thingy going on, where the gradient has this thing going across, so it's like changing the angle of the border, and then this other point just kind of drops down and goes boom. And in the cloner tool, what I have is in the effectors, you have to enable the use position effector and then use position midpoint. I don't really know why it's like that. Well, actually, use position midpoint just centers things. But anyways, you change the absolute value of what you want it to change by, and then you would the gradient like directly affects that. So yeah. And then here you have all the different ways that you could do. I'm not trying to formulate words, holy shit. You have all the ways that you could do things. Like, let me just showcase here. Also, I don't know what the fuck linear cloner is. I'm pretty sure it's just the same thing, but not as good. Or like, it's a cloner, but it's just for 2 points. So kind of mid. And you can't even do Bezier curves, so I don't know who's using this. Like, just get with it. Anyways, other cloner, we do have like the grid, linear, radial, which is the one I use, image, I have no idea what this does, and Bezier, which I'd say is actually kind of neat. You can have 2 points and like have it do cool curves and stuff. And then I don't know, it just does shit. You know, the effectors do certain things. You can make certain things. You can plug it into itself, whatever. We have it. So it kind of just looks like this, and I have it in a like 2x1 format because in a square, like these things wouldn't move properly. So I just, or like it would clip. I'm trying to think of a decent explanation on why I did it. All I remember was that if it's in a square format, they like the things wouldn't transform properly, like they wouldn't move like as much as I wanted it to. So I just made it bigger, and then you know it would do the thing where you know I change the start and the end positions of the cloner. Kind of looks like it's rotating or whatever, and then they fall because of the position effector of the background doing a thing. And then I just have it transform. What does a transform even do? What's this doing? What does this do? Oh, this just it just moves it. I don't know. Cool. And then we have this text here, which just keyframes on, and it's like IDK because I really don't know. And I have the operator mode on Zor, which is basically the same stuff. It's like the Boolean operators that you would see in the shapes tools. In the shapes tools for DaVinci in the stuff. So that's cool. And then you know they all fall while spinning. The text falls kind of slower. And then this is where, what is this? What is this? What does this do? Oh wait, I remember what this was. So this is the reused transitional square from before, the second scene, and it's no longer carrying over camera movement into the next scene, but now it's more or less syncing with the music to signify a scene change or something like that. That's kind of my thought process behind it. So it kind of happens here, yeah, right there, or if I can find it, yeah, right there, that's where it does the thing. And yeah, that's the end of the first scene, boom, or the third scene, quote unquote. And after this falls out, technically the switch views toggles, yep, right here, and then it swaps to the second scene because I don't want to render the cloner node anymore because that shit can add up over time. And now we swap to the next scene, which again uses another funny square, which does the boop. And I added this on later, but I guess no, we're not going to talk about it. Too bad. Let's start with this. So I kind of wanted to shit. Let me go to like regular YouTube. So so this guy Ishin, I'm pretty sure anyone who does mograph knows this guy because he's just really good at what he does. He had a thing where he had like a point which would extrude and then kind of like, see, I'm doing the motion with my hands, but I know you can't see it. He would shit. I wish I could, I can try finding the video. Was it this one? Maybe. I don't know. Let's just look at something. Fuck it. Oh, well, unfortunately, it's not here. Too bad. Either way, this guy makes cool stuff. I will never make stuff like this. But I just realized that I talked about wireframe shapes earlier, and it might be doable to make like cool stuff like this. Maybe. This guy's different though, So anyways, basically he had a point that would kind of like flip over on itself radially. It's weird, but I decided to remake it because why not? So we have a rectangle that it's like this shape, which that shape, it's like it's not squared off. Yeah, it kind of looks like that. It's not a point, but whatever, it's just a line that comes in, and we have it extrude to where like it comes in like this and then it flips around, because my thought process was like, damn, I'll just do that, it's fine. But then there's this stuff showing up, which obviously is weird. So I have a second extrude, which then, because this one is extruding like by an angle, like boom, and then this extrude is just extruding to the right, so that it just like, it looks like it's just like a radial wipe or whatever, but it's like based on the object, I guess. And look at it go, it just does the boom 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 boom. This is really case specific to having this. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. I'm just talking. And it would do this, boom, 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 and then it would complete. And then I just put a mirrors node in so that it would boom and then boom. So I kind of used an erode dilate node by accident because I wanted like a straight edge. Honestly, I don't really know if that was worth doing, but either way, I'm improvising. But yeah, I ran this through a threshold node, this mirrors thing. Threshold, same erode dilate, and then I inverted it. Now we kind of have this thing, and I ran it through a bunch of different things, so like different levels of erode and of erode dilate, and then I zored the is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. I ran it through the Zor thing, so I would make lines based off of the input. Oh, I gotta drink some fucking water. That's what I gotta do. Anyways, we have a bunch of those things, doing all that shit, and they're all offset by one frame because why not? What is this rectangle? Why is this here? This rectangle here, rectangle's here for some reason. What if I turn it off? Okay, whatever. This was part of a plan that never happened, so too bad. They're all offset by one frame. They go into a multi-merge, which you can find in Reactor, and it's like boom, that shit's pretty cool. It's kind of laggy. Nothing you can really do about it though. It's literally 4K. I don't know why I did 4K 60. I did it by accident, but yeah. So this kind of does a thing, and then because it's based off this input of like the flipping thingy, it will do the exact same stuff, and it just kind of looks cool. It's terrible reasoning, but look at it go. Then I think with it curved it looked better because like, I don't know. If I turned it off, what would it look like then? it's not gonna work. Oh yeah, here's the thing. It wouldn't curve over properly. Because the thing about, that's why I did it. Because the thing about the erode dilate node is that like, it just doesn't really work. Like there's a weird workaround, I guess. Because when you have a shape that goes like that, okay, that's a terrible shape, but like the outlines are only rounded. But like, of course, when you have this hard corner, it's like straight. But then if you have the inverse of said shape, where it's like this, the outlines are rounded, so it's like that. So you can't have both. So I'm like, whatever, fuck it, I might as well lean into it and make it a bit better, because if we go into where it merges over, and also there's this thing, but I'll explain that soon, because then this would be sharp, and then it would, these would rotate around it. Maybe that's good, or it's mid, I have no idea, but I just wanted that, so too bad. And this would be that was a stinger that was going to do the thing. It would go boom, boom, and go boom. And yeah, and this is the second scene, which is a 3D thingy, where I kind of reused the same camera shit from the first scene back down here, and I literally the same exact text. I think I used the same particles as well, yeah. And I kind of just had it pan out. It goes boom, and then, you know, just boom. What's here? Oh yeah, here it is. This is the big icosahedron. Also, just another thing when you're working in 3D and Fusion, don't offset the shape initially, because that's just garbage. I mean, you can, but you have to know when or when not to do it. Because when you're trying to, why is there a merge here? But when you're trying to like duplicate stuff and rotate it, it doesn't do it based off of the shape's rotation or position. It does it based off of the point in the middle of the 3D space, which is 0, 0, 0, you know. So it's going to do everything based around that, and that's your center point. It doesn't change your center point unless you, like, you know, you'd have to change the so let's say you had a duplicate 3D. You see, look, it treats the center point as right here, and if you wanted to make it all centered, you just have to like here we go, like you'd have to remove everything back, and like, you know, whatever. It's just super inconvenient. Just keep everything the same, you know, whatever. Then we would transform it back. What is a interesting. This is just I think I might have used that for something, but now I don't. Merge it with the same camera, because they're two different renders, because I'm rendering this separately so I can run it through the thickener and erode dilate so it looks better. See, it looks like that, then it looks like that, and then it looks like that, and it makes it slightly more visible. And we keep these separate. And technically I could enable depth merge. It doesn't really matter though, because it's lines and it's black and white, so it doesn't really matter if stuff overlaps. You can't tell what's over or under. And then yeah, no ideas. Boom. And then like the transition looks kind of neat, I guess, because it follows the motion. When it goes down, this goes down, and then this flips over with the lines as well. And then as these lines and as like the radial thing finishes, these just kind of like they kind of just go out like swoop. I made a fucking noise to describe it as a swoop thing, like a boom, and then it just does that, and that's cool. So yeah, and then that says no ideas. Yep. Then this is our final scene, because after the cool sounding intro, it just goes into K-pop. So, and like I don't know, I'm not gonna edit. I mean, I guess I could have done stuff with it, like the lyrics and shit, but I don't know, I don't care. Was not feeling it. So Yeah, this scene's kind of complicated. I mean, if you look at it, it does look kind of wacky when you have this main merge 3D and you have a bunch of shit going into it. So let's take it one by one. Boom. So as you can see, I made a note during school, because when I'm in class I work on this sometimes just to like ignore dog shit teacher and stuff like that, because he's a terrible graphic design teacher, whatever. But anyways, background paint time stretcher to freeze it on a certain frame, and then do image plane 3D and paste it in. So I kind of just have that there just for me to know later on, like the next couple days after, because I'm not working on this every day. I work on it like a bit every other day, so I know, like, thank you me for telling me that. Let's see, we have text. That's I don't even know where it is. Where the fuck is it? We have really small text, like it's baby text. Then we have it merged on top of this cool shape, which is a cone. Bended it like this, transformed it, and basically like quote unquote flattened it, I guess. Like I changed the X and Y scale, and then I duplicated it. Technically I could have flattened it beforehand and gotten the same result. I just did it this other way because whatever. Like I just added this on after, and then I could just like still change the bend settings. So yeah. So the general concept of this scene, also by the way, do not make things super big. It's a waste of time because I scaled everything down anyways. Because after a certain point, the 3D render can only render to such a distance, so you kind of have to scale shit down so that it's, you know, it can render within the boundaries, you know. And there's no penalty for going smaller. So, and the whole concept was we have well, I'm already revealing shit. We have camera, which does a thing. It has I renamed it to Godcam so I would know. We have this kind of curve. It'll go like boom and then boom, you know. And the reason why I did that was because if we look here, basically it would hard switch the frame to this, which is the text from before, and then it would kind of like scale out, and then the text would shrink and disappear, and then we had like these radial lines kind of all going out and shit, just because. And then also that this grid, this wireframe grid, because I don't know. And yeah, merge it on top of a white background, invert it because why not? Also looks kind of cool. It's black and white. I could have done some more stuff with inverting, but you know, this isn't the right song for it, you know. So yeah, and then we put it into the switch fuse and then render it. So conclusion, what did we learn today? I don't know. You learned how I like to do motion graphics in one Fusion comp. Personally, I find it better for motion graphics in particular. I haven't really edited in a super long time, so I don't really know what that's all about. I know Peach uses anim curves and adjustment clips, excuse me, which might be the better method for editing. But I don't know. I'm just someone who's just gonna stick on Fusion, like everything in Fusion. I want to try making it edit purely in Fusion, see how that goes. Because all the stuff I have is there. The only reason I used the edit page in the first couple. Yeah? Okay. Like, the only reason why I would use the edit page was just so I could do hard cuts in between clips like this, because I didn't know how. And, you know, stuff like that. It was just, like, poopy. So, it's doable. You know, next edit it's gonna be in one comp like this, which I guess looks super complicated, but I'm not the best at organizing the comp and making it as easy to understand. I also don't organize that well. You know, a lot of my stuff isn't super free flowing. Like, why the hell does this not just go in one straight line? Why is there, you know, this? And why is it that I don't arrange it like this, going upwards, and then just move it like that? You know, a lot of things could be cleaned up. Organizing things vertically is a lot easier than doing it horizontally, because vertically stuff doesn't take up as much space, so it's like, you know, kind of nice. Like, I could just do this. Like, this looks so much better than building everything out sideways. But I don't know, it's all preference. Personally, I like working left to right because that's how people read. So yeah, I don't know. Stuff does stuff. We have some random notes so that I remember what to do, and also just like, so I remember what exactly I was thinking before I got off, because sometimes you know, you have ideas and you go to sleep and then you forget. So yeah, that is it. Have a good day.